North Korean dictator Kim Jong Un departed Russia after a 6-day trip on Sunday, leaving with some explosive weaponry as gifts. Kim met with Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss a potential arms deal, though no agreement has yet been signed. Before Kim departed on his armored train, however, a regional Russian governor gifted him with 5 explosive, kamikaze, drones, a reconnaissance drone and a bulletproof vest, according to Russian state media. North Korean state news agency KCNA described the trip as a fervent and warm meeting between the two countries. Russia is believed to be interested in an arms deal to refill its slimming supply of arms as its invasion of Ukraine continues. The visit was Kim's first official trip abroad since the coronavirus pandemic. Kim met directly with Putin early last week as the pair toured a space launch facility. Kim visited several sites in Russia's Far East during the trip and was later pictured touring a sanctioned fighter jet plant. "We have shown one of our leading aircraft plants to the leader of North Korea," Russian Deputy Prime Minister Denis Manturov said, according to the Associated Press. "We are seeing potential for cooperation in the aircraft making and other industries, which is particularly acute for solving our country's task of achieving technological sovereignty." The plant is part of Russia's United Aircraft Corporation, an organization the U.S. has sanctioned as part of its response to the Ukraine war. North Korean media claimed that Putin has also accepted an invitation to visit North Korea in the near future, though the Kremlin has yet to confirm the agreement. At the end of the reception, Kim Jong Un courteously invited Putin to visit the DPRK at a convenient time, KCNA claimed Thursday. Putin accepted the invitation with pleasure and reaffirmed his will to invariably carry forward the history and tradition of the Russia-DPRK friendship, it added. Kim pledged North Korea's full support for Russia's sacred struggle in Ukraine during his in-person meeting with Putin. No formal arms deal has been reached, however, according to Moscow. News highlights 2. U.S. threatens North Korea over Russia arms deal, says country will pay a price. North Korea will pay a price if it moves forward with a deal to provide arms to Russia amid the ongoing invasion of Ukraine, President Biden's administration warned. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan made the comments during a press briefing on Tuesday, responding to reports that North Korean dictator Kim Jong Un and Russian President Vladimir Putin may meet in person. "This is not going to reflect well on North Korea and they will pay a price for this in the international community," Sullivan said. "We will continue to call on North Korea to abide by its public commitments not to supply weapons to Russia that will end up killing Ukrainians." U.S. National Security Council spokesperson Adrienne Watson announced on Monday that an in-person meeting between Kim and Putin was possible. Kim may travel to Moscow as soon as next week. Russia has rebuffed questions about the talks, however. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said he can't confirm the talks and said there is nothing to say. Putin wants North Korea to supply Russia with artillery shells and anti-tank missiles, and in exchange, Kim wants Russia to give North Korea advanced technology for satellites and nuclear-powered submarines, sources told the New York Times. Additionally, Kim wants food aid for his starving nation. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said last week that arms negotiations between the two U.S. adversaries were actively advancing. Following these negotiations, high-level discussions may continue in coming months. Now, among these potential deals, Russia would receive significant quantities and multiple types of munitions from the DPRK, which the Russian military plans to use in Ukraine, Kirby said at the time. North Korea has grown increasingly aggressive against South Korea and Japan in recent months, firing a record number of missile tests. The country has also failed twice to launch a satellite into orbit this year, with a third attempt scheduled for October. News highlights 3. North Korea fires 2 ballistic missiles toward eastern seas as leader Kim Jong Un visits Putin. North Korea fired 2 short-range ballistic missiles toward its eastern seas Wednesday, its neighbors said. The launch came as North Korean leader Kim Jong Un was traveling in Russia for a meeting with President Vladimir Putin while there are international concerns about a potential arms deal that could fuel Moscow's war efforts in Ukraine. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said it detected the missiles being fired 10 minutes apart from an area in Sunan, the site of Pyongyang's international airport, and that the weapons flew cross-country toward the country's eastern seas. It didn't immediately say how far the weapons flew. Japan's Coast Guard, citing Tokyo's defense ministry, said the missile likely has landed but still urged vessels around the Japanese coasts to watch out for falling objects. Kim has been using the international distraction caused by Russia's war in Ukraine to ramp up the North's weapons development, a process that has included more than 100 missile launches since the start of 2022. According to U.S. officials, Putin could use his meeting with Kim to secure more supplies of North Korean artillery and other ammunition to refill declining reserves and prolong his invasion of Ukraine. Experts say Kim in return could seek badly needed economic aid and sophisticated weapons technologies to advance his nuclear weapons and missiles program.